You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, National Insurance columnist and Financial Color commentator. This week on The Biz, our monthly update series for November 2012. And on today's show, our life insurance update with special guest Jessica Lopez, recognized siren of the spreadsheets.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm your host, Steve Savant, and we're broadcasting live to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain, and the queen herself, the siren of the grids, the gal of the spreadsheets, Jessica Lopez. Hi, Jessie.
Hey there. Great to be here, Steve.
It's great, and she has plenty of stuff to talk about today. Let's get into it right away. Let's talk about the ratings. And now, a lot of recognized names this time. A little bit. It's not major, but it's enough that we want to bring it to you.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and start with Colonial Life. S&P decided to go ahead and upgrade them from A- to A. Comdex is 78, or was 78, now is 80. First Unum, A-, now is A with S&P, went from 78 to 80 on their Comdex rating. Genworth Life and Annuity went from A to A-, and the Comdex on that is 76, or was 76, is now 75.
Yeah, that was a small downgrade, and I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. You know, when we look at some of the things that are happening in ratings, because remember, there's claims paying ability, and then there's financial stability ratings. And AM Best has really been staying out of the mix. Most of the traffic we've seen is definitely S&P and the Comdex rating. Now, we have a lot of news to go through, and we're just going to touch on them, probably a couple lines, because we just want to make sure that you're fully apprised of the activity, and there's a lot of it. Jessie?
Absolutely. First of all, Steve, I noticed that Prudential did acquire individual life assets from Hartford.
I'm telling you, the industry is contracting, and right now it's in consolidation mode.
Next, Prudential to reprice SUL and UL products. In fact, this actually was made effective as of October 15th. Aviva changes rates, caps, and basis points across the product line.
Yes, remember, they used to be the leader in indexed UL in total sales. I think Pac Life's owned that for the last 2 years, but we see 2 to 3 carriers that are emerging and are going to really challenge the #1 ranking probably over the next 2 years. Keep an eye on that.
Very important. Now, MetLife launches Provider UL in 6 additional states. MetLife adjusts Guarantee and Legacy Advantage UL products as well.
Well, everybody's adjusting. Everybody's adjusting their GUL because of AG38, and later on in the week, we're going to talk about this and spend a whole show on AG38 and the impact on GUL.
Fantastic. Now, ING increases policy fee for TermSmart and TermSmart New York. ING approves UL Guaranteed Death Benefit for sale in New York.
And just a little touch on that. Remember, the whole AG38 issue is that the New York actuaries actually came to the other 49 states and pretty much imposed their will on us. So whatever that number is in New York, right, you can just better bet that we're going to be looking at some of those numbers first of the year.
Now, John Hancock reduces first-year premiums by 10%.
Wow, this is a giveaway for clients. If you're looking to place some business, and I mean, they have some underwriting right now, a 10% roll-off on all premium to the end of the year. This could be the time to look at, especially, again, they're playing an impaired risk.
Now, Genworth changes term and UL product portfolio. You've seen a lot of updates out there in the industry. It's definitely something to keep an eye on in terms of the rate changes that we see coming through. ING's suspension of no-lapse UL products. Genworth reduced commissions on GenGuard UL effective November 12th.
Yeah, think about this. A lot of these names that we're going down the list are changing either because the AG38 or the profitability issues. Of course, it always pains me when comp is involved.
Yes.
But I have to say, some of these changes have to happen. And I did notice that ING came out with their redux on they already had a very good IUL. They just came out with their new global redux. And I started to look at some of this, as well as Lincoln Benefit also had to start changing their legacy series. Again, a direct result of AG38.
Next, we have Banner Life Accelerated Death Benefit now available in California. John Hancock premium increase on ULG and SULG. Aviva changes to the New York portfolio. We kind of touched on that as well earlier. Banner Life business reaches $500 billion in force coverage.
Think about it. LGA, their parent company out of the UK, is extremely they're expanding, in my view, and they're to hit half a billion. What is it? Half a trillion in force. I mean, you're thinking about now. We're talking about major player in the United States. It's still again owned by UK, but I want to play there in a big place. And remember, they've been in the GUO market. They already repriced.
Right.
So they're already players, and wait till January. We'll see all these grids and show you then. But Jessica, let's talk a little bit about, you saw a article. I can't believe this. Talk a little bit about it because I can hardly bring myself to say it.
Well, Steve, I was amazed to find out that MetLife is offering life insurance through Walmart as a pilot program in a few states. The biggest life insurance company in the world is partnering with the largest retail store in the country.
I can't believe it. Here we go again. We have carriers going around the field for us,
Yes.
going direct to the public, and now we're having the biggest company in the world
Right.
partnering with the biggest retailer. Hey, maybe even in the world. I know it is in the country. And where is this all going to? I mean, this isn't the first time that people go direct to the public, though. I mean, there's other carriers that you were looking at.
Absolutely. Companies like Liberty Mutual, State Farm, Geico are all providing direct insurance to consumers. Direct writers such as Select Quote, Matrix Direct, and Life Quotes, to name a few, that sell life insurance directly to consumers.
I remember back in the day in 2000, I was told that we'd be selling life insurance direct to people in a mall off a kiosk.
Right.
That hasn't happened yet, but now we go Walmart. Oh
Right.
my gosh, maybe
We're a
you're
step
not,
closer.
You're getting your life insurance and your gallon of milk at the same place. Okay,
Exactly.
I'm sorry that doesn't compute for me. Jesse, let's talk a little bit about this because I was really surprised by this report by IBIS World Research because they take every industry that we're into and they look at all industries all in, and of course our industry is in the insurance side. And they had a very glowing report, and especially when you think the last 4 or 5 years with the recession and all the things that are happening negative, I have to tell you, I was surprised by this report.
Right, and for everybody watching, IBIS World is one of the world's richest sources of unique and comprehensive business intel.
Yeah, when you think about it, their product line, their issues are so unbelievable right now because in light of the greatest recession we've ever seen,
Right.
and we see these kind of numbers and a pro report from a third-party vendor, that's the kind of thing I live for. We come back from the break, we're going to address the substandard term and guaranteed life spreadsheets and some of the guaranteed issued contracts that are out there off our spreadsheet. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Welcome to the Brokers Alliance Auction House. I'm Jessica Lopez, and that's Steve Savant. What are you doing?
I'm practicing my auctioneer skills for our carrier bidding process for our producers' substandard cases.
Steve means that we're packaging our substandard cases for underwriters with specific carriers that are known to specialize in certain health impairments.
There are really only a handful of competitive carriers in each category, and we've identified who they are.
It's all about securing the best possible underwriting offer by packaging your substandard case with the right carriers.
So let the bidding begin. Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant with Jessica Lopez. And remember, you can order today's giveaways at brokersalliance.com. And think about it, the Impaired Risk Field Guide is one of the biggest giveaways we're doing all the rest of the year to help you with your substandard and your impaired risk carriers. And we have packed in so much into this, so I want you to be able to order it at thebiz at brokersalliance.com, and we'll send it to you. And remember, before you move forward with any of the things we talk about, although we're not talking about anything tax today, but always consult your tax advisor and your broker-dealer compliance department before moving forward. We're talking about substandard term, this part, and also guaranteed and simplified issue. Now, not everybody is in love with taking an exam.
Right.
Right? So this is a good time to look at what's out there on guaranteed simplified issue. Jesse?
Okay, well, thank you, Steve. First of all, a surety life does go up to $350,000 for their death benefit on a simplified issue. Now, just to clarify for everybody, what is simplified issue? There are all different types of terms there. Again, no blood, no urine, and there are various carriers that actually offer the opportunity for you to go ahead and go for a smaller death benefit so that you can avoid all of that. Fidelity Life Association goes up to $250,000. LSW from $50,000 to $250,000. That's on their Provider Index Universal Life product.
That's very strange. I haven't seen IUL. It's just starting to enter the guaranteed market.
Exactly. Very competitive. Also, United of Omaha, they have their term, their GUL, and whole life that are available. On their term, they go up to $400,000. Their GUL, $250,000, and whole life, $50,000.
Well, I'm looking also, I don't want to forget presidential life, because sometimes simplified issue, there's too many knockout questions. And so when you look at presidential, they have guaranteed issue. It's a whole life chassis. And remember, it has a graded premium, or graded death benefit, I should say. And just keep in mind that that also could be an alternative, especially for people who just can't even get simplified issue.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what we normally don't talk about on guaranteed issue is some of the ideas about guaranteed simplified white collar guidelines, because now you get into group cases that you want to use guaranteed. You don't want everybody to go and have a huge paramed line in your office.
Right.
You just want to be able to do this. And here are just some of the basic ideas, some of the players that we're using in guaranteed and simplified issue for white collar groups.
Okay, well, some of the players that we have here are going to be American General. They actually will issue from ages 18 to 70 and up to 20 lives for their platform on the worksite product. Aviva will actually issue at the same age rate. AXA, ING, John Hancock, Lincoln Benefit. And you out there in the field, you may come across the small business situation where this might be the best option for you, because, like you said, we don't want to interrupt the workday and sit there and everybody stand in a line and it's your turn to go in the bottle.
There's so many carriers at play in what I call small group areas that use guaranteed and simplified issue. And remember, the issue is a lot of people say, I like the idea of not having the paramed and all the issues of blood and urine. But more than that, it really streamlines placing coverage, especially in a group scenario. And we're seeing more and more, especially after the PPACA has been enacted, we're seeing more and more different carriers teaming up with larger corporations to see how they can really put together guaranteed issue with these kind of tactics. And again, remember the premium is a little different because you're not going to get the edge. Maybe if you're super preferred, you're going to say, well, I could have got a better deal. But remember, generally the employer's paying for this, so I'd say that's probably a good thing to think about.
Absolutely it is.
Now let's talk about a little bit about, Jesse, about the term grid has changed. Now tomorrow we're going to be spending all our entire period talking about table shaving programs, because right now until the end of the year, this is the hottest technology for impaired risk and substandard. However, there are going to be cases, and I saw a case yesterday where there's no way I can get it down to the area of table shaving. And even though one of our carriers, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, actually goes to table D as in dog, 4 levels up from substandard, I'm looking at this case, it's table 6. I can probably get it to table D, but no lower. Now, the reason I'm using table D is because the vast majority of all the carriers really start at table C on down. The one that we're going to talk about tomorrow is a little bit of an anomaly, but right now I want to talk about some of it. Let's talk about our 10-year term and who the players are. And remember, this is a $1 million case, table D, and we're talking a little bit about the several, I don't want to go through the whole list, but let's talk about our ranked top 5.
Perfect. Okay, and this is on a male. Age 55. So basically, the top player who you're going to see here at the 10-year level term is going to Banner Life. Security, Emeritus Keystone, we're looking at about $4,000 to $6,000 range. Typically, you're going to be about the same dollar amount from Lincoln Financial, Protective, American General, all the way down to Minnesota Life. From there, it does spike up to about $7,000 for our 10-year term, and that's going to be, your MetLife, Columbus, Transamerica, and so forth.
Keep in mind that really, as Jesse just pointed out, the top 5 to 7 carriers are the players, because all of a sudden it jumps almost as high as 20% on premium. So the players we're talking about, especially we just talked about Banner leading the pack, remember, they're taking their table and they're posting it at their standard plus rates.
And that's unique.
That is unique, and there's only a handful of carriers that do that.
American General's another.
There's another one. Let's talk about 15-year and see who plays in that.
All right, for a 15-year term, Banner and American General, again at the top, we're looking at $7,000 in annualized premium. Again, this is on the 15-year. North American, Midland, Savings Bank Life, Lincoln, and Minnesota, all are within the $7,000 to $8,000 range. Then it does jump, looking at $10,000, MetLife, Pruco, Lincoln Benefit, and so forth.
Just give us, we're cut on time, but just tell us our top 5 on our 20.
All right, top 5 on 20, we have Banner, AG, Lincoln, Midland, or North American, as well as Principal, and that's looking at really the $11,000 annual premium. The least expensive in this scenario are Banner and American General at $9,000.
Remember, you can get all these grids and spreadsheets. Just order it at thebiz@brokersalliance.com, or hop out to our website, hit the red on-demand button at www.brokersalliance.com. That's the Buzz on the Biz for today. You've been in the zone. The Business
The Biz
Insurance
is brought to
Zone.
you by Brokers Alliance, a national leader in insurance products, support services, and educational workshops. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.